Hey guys, and welcome to I Worked for the Tiger King Part 2. We are streaming live now on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. So if you have questions, time to ask. We were on here for over an hour last week, and we weren't able to cover everything in that time slot. As you could imagine, working with Joe Exotic, the Tiger King, there's a lot to it. So an hour is not a lot of time to cover it, but hopefully this is a lot of fun for you guys. Fantasy football is about to really ramp up with the NFL draft coming up this week, and then our dynasty draft starts on Friday. So
one of them
it's ramping up. Yeah, one of our dynasty league drafts is coming up Friday. So everything's about to ramp up fantasy football wise. So we thought we would do this fun little Q&A for my time working with Joe Exotic, the Tiger King, before all that got started. So I've got Kyle joining me here as kind of a conversation piece to fill that time between questions, and comedic relief in there as well.
Yeah. Well, I do what I can.
Right.
I got to go see you when you was working down there and see the compound and see the guys. So I've been in the environment at least, even though I didn't work for him.
Yep. So, you got to meet him, you said? Did you get to meet him?
I don't think I met Joe, but I met like Ranky and some of the other people there. I don't think Joe was there most of the time when I was there, or he was just really busy.
Yeah, he was always all over the place doing something, especially if you came. Yeah, while tours or something were going on, he was always running around trying to get more animals out for people to touch and mess with and stuff like that. He liked his guests to have a good time and get their money's worth. That's for sure.
I think one time I was there, he was actually doing a show like up there on that stage.
Yeah,
which you see in the series, you know.
Yeah, where he's working with Big Tiger Sarge there.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, for those of you who don't know, Rinky, who Kyle just mentioned, was the guy with no legs. He had the two artificial legs in the Tiger King series that you most likely saw. So, anyways, we seem to have a couple viewers, but no questions coming in. I don't know. I don't really remember where we left off last time. I know I had talked about how it was actually kind of cool to work there. Just because the animals were just so interesting. I mean, you're so close to these exotic animals. I mean, I got to pet them. I lived with a lemur monkey running around our trailer house. I woke up to the lion. They weren't growls or roars. They just kind of like, they scruffed, I think is what we call them. Called the noises.
Was it scruff?
And so that was something. I think it's scruff.
Or tough. Was it tough? I don't remember.
No. I think it was scruffing. Anyways, it was kind of a weird, like heavy breathing, kind of purring type sound. It was just cool to wake up to in the mornings because you could hear it. I mean, so that was kind of cool. If you had a bad day, which was almost every day, you could just go down once your shift was over and go down to the baby tigers and just get in the cage with them and pet them, or in the house. I guess Joe's house is where they lived, so typically it wasn't even in the cage where you were hanging out with them as an employee of the place. So it's cool just to get to go down there and pet the tigers, or like you mentioned the last time, there was yeah, Kyle, I don't have a banner.
You don't have that on your side?
No.
It's over under your picture I'm on.
Yeah, I don't have that. There's that. I just clicked it on and then off again.
That's what I was talking about. It was still showing starting soon. We already started.
Yeah, no, that wasn't on my side, so weird little glitch there. We have started. If that banner was showing on your end, we're not starting soon. We did started.
We are here. We're not a cat.
Right. I'm ready to get started when you are. I'm here. I'm not a cat. What's the time? Oh yeah, we had that little baby chimp that came They had parked a travel trailer. The lady who brought the chimpanzee was a trainer for chimps that worked in movies. So she pretty much always had baby chimps that she was training, babysitting. I mean, it was a little baby, so
it was cool.
It was cool. It came and just hung out in the office with us most days because she was there for 2 weeks, I think, maybe. And when you talk about, I was only there at the park for 3.5 months. 2 weeks is a large chunk of my time there that she was there. But
totally.
Yeah, I mean, that little chimpanzee just hung out in our office with us and stuff, and it made the workday fun and interesting, to say the least, because it's worse than having like a kid running around, right? They just want to grab everything. They can open doors, like they're really smart. They just grab stuff and kind of throw it and stuff. I mean, it's an animal. So
Wait, what kind of stuff are they grabbing and throwing?
well, he wore a diaper just to make sure that he wasn't throwing poo. Was
That's
not
good.
flinging poo.
That's
Always
good.
had a diaper on because it was the safe option.
Yeah. I actually got to go down there while that chimp was there and go in the RV and kind of play with it and stuff. And it was a lot of fun. He was a really cool little guy.
Oh yeah, he was awesome. So, um, yeah, I was hoping more people would get on here and ask some questions that we could answer directly. Because, I mean, I can just kind of talk in general, which I didn't a lot last time. But I know people have direct questions probably um, that they would like to know. Just to cover for people who didn't see the last one, maybe I worked there. The documentary picked up in December of 2011 is kind of where that picked up, right after he lost the lawsuit to Carol Baskin. And then I actually worked there right before that. I worked there from June, the beginning of June, to the middle of September. So I left kind of right before all that went down. Like the lawsuit had been filed, we knew it was coming, and I left before he actually lost the lawsuit. Cool. We have a question here from Isaac, and it says, "What was the drug scene like at the park?" That's a good question.
That's a good question.
So, honestly, I don't know about any drugs going on at the park, not even marijuana. There was a lot of drinking, but I mean, we drink on the clock. If we were having a rough day or something, some animal activists or Carol was getting under our skin and just attacking us a lot, we would just go out to the bar and Joe would pour us all shots and we'd just start drinking. But drug wise, I'm sure it was going on. I mean, his husband, I mean, you saw him on tape there. I have something in my mouth. That's weird. Speaking of drugs, right? Yeah, something. I think it is dog hair, probably. But I mean, you saw him. I mean, he was missing teeth and stuff. Obviously, there were some drugs going on there. His boyfriend, when I worked there, so he had a husband and a boyfriend, and my guess is the boyfriend also was into some drugs. I'm sure they probably all did them together, but actually, I doubt it. I honestly don't think Joe did drugs.
He was just crazy and weird.
Yeah. I actually never saw him drink much. Now that I think about it, I don't know if he actually did drink. He would pour us drinks, but I don't know that I ever saw Joe drink. Now, you have to understand, Joe's brother died to a drunk driver. So I think that turned Joe off of a lot of that stuff. And that's why he started the animal park. It was because it was him and his brother's dream to do this. They had like an exotic, they had like a pet store down in Dallas or something. And his brother died. And then he opened up this zoo because it was kind of their dream to do. And so he did it in honor of his brother, named after his brother. The GW Exotic Animal Park was for Gerald Wayne, I believe was his name.
I think that's right.
So that he did it for him, but I would assume that he probably didn't do drugs and probably didn't drink much. But that I know of for absolute sure, there wasn't a big drug scene there. And honestly, I'm not surprised because most people can't afford any to buy extra stuff when you work there. I mean, you're living at the park, and you're just not making a lot of money at all. So working 80 hours a week, making I was on the high end. I was making $400 a week as the marketing director. Like, I was the high end office position, and that's all I was making. So I'm guessing a lot of other people also weren't making good money at all. So,
Well,
but
it
people
also
who do
sounds
drugs
like,
also, they'll spend all of their money on it too. I watch Intervention, so that's how that works.
yeah,
Hey,
that's true.
Omaha, how's it going, man? Welcome
It
to the
sounds like the
stream
husband
here.
and boyfriend even just kind of restricted their use to his house and didn't do it like in the office and none of that crap either. So
Yeah, maybe so. So our viewers on Instagram, if you're curious, I'm talking to my brother Kyle on YouTube. You can switch over to that stream, link in bio if you want, or stick around here. Either way, ask all the questions you have, and I'm more than happy to answer any questions you may have about Joe Exotic, the Tiger King, his park, things that went on there, things of that sort. Hey, Isaac, thanks for your question,
oh
man.
man,
Thanks for joining us.
that's
If you have any
Omaha from the
more,
new dynasty.
yeah, Omaha.
Oh, cool.
He's in our new Dynasty League. I'm excited to do that.
Yeah,
He's got a page over on Instagram. Go check that out. It's fairly new, but it looks like it's going to be pretty good. So,
thanks for swinging by, Isaac. Appreciate you, man.
yeah, if anyone else has any more questions, like I said, I'm open to answering them. Isaac, that was a good question because honestly, I mean, it is a place ripe for drugs. I mean, when you think about it, when you're out in the middle of nowhere, you got people, I would say, bored in their free time, but we didn't have any free time. I mean, when
Yeah,
you got
that's
off work, you were exhausted. You ate dinner, a late dinner, and then you were exhausted. I mean, you just kind of went to bed and then woke up and did it all over again. That was just kind of your life. We all had little fire pits. We might go out and sit around and chat for a little bit, or make a trip into Walmart. We'd all kind of carpool to the nearest Walmart. So,
fly run.
yeah, like we go
Had
for
to
on
get
supply runs together,
had
and
to
that
go
was
get
kind of it.
more rolling papers and needles.
Right.
I'm
Cool. So
kidding.
Omaha Captain over on Instagram asks, how long was I there? So I was there for about 3.5 months. So the documentary started. It kind of picked up in December of 2011, and so I was there from June 2011 to September, like mid September of 2011. So about 3.5 months. And during that time, the lawsuit had already been filed. When I started there, I immediately told him, like, oh, hey, you're going to get sued for this. He knew he was going to get sued for it. He didn't care. He would not change the name or anything. And then the the lawsuit got filed, and I ended up leaving before he actually lost the lawsuit. But yeah, it was something we were fighting while I was there. So I have a little bit of a perspective from right before the documentary started up, um, which gives me a little bit different take on Joe in general. His personality, how he acted, things of that sort. It also, thank goodness, kept me out of the documentary. So that is fantastic. I watched and binged that entire thing, just horrified. I binged it as quick as possible just so I could make sure I wasn't in it, because I knew that all my coworkers were watching it, family was watching it, and I was just really nervous about showing up on this documentary. So yeah, granted, I didn't do anything while I was there. I didn't see anything that I was ashamed of. I didn't do anything that I'm ashamed of. But it sounds like crap really hit the fan once I was gone, I guess. And that's not because I wasn't there. It's just that the timing worked out that way. So, I guess Kyle is wanting to be on my Instagram. I don't know why. We'll see. I don't know what he's wanting to do, but that's going to mess with our audio. So that is going to mess with our audio if you're hopping over here, Kyle. Just FYI. Oh, that's weird. Yeah. Join back over there. Quit messing up our show, Kyle. All right. He's going to come back over here on YouTube. His internet went out. So, here you go. I'll add Kyle back over here real quick.
My internet crapped the bed for no reason at all.
Yeah, I saw you leave, so I was like, oh, his internet went out. I wasn't worried about it. But then you asked over on Instagram, and I was like, oh, he's really wanting to talk to Omaha or something. I was like, I don't know what he's got going on.
Well, I figured I would since I couldn't get back over here on YouTube for a second.
You know that messes with our audio here. That'll give us some major feedback and echo. So
yeah, I didn't really think about that.
Let's see. Omaha said there was probably a bit of a honeymoon phase with the job at first, being able to work with big cats. How long did that last? So yes, absolutely. There was a little bit of a honeymoon phase. It was, I mean, you can talk about just kind of like in awe, right? But yeah, honestly, that the being in awe of the animals themselves actually never left. Every time I walked through the park, it was incredible. And that zoo isn't like your big zoos that you go to. There's not animals. Okay, looks like we are back live on YouTube now. That was very unfortunate.
What happened? I think you lost it on your end, because I never lost internet.
Yeah, it was me. I lost everything. Everything went down except for my YouTube. My YouTube kept going because I'm working off the network, not my Wi-Fi. So that helped.
Oh.
Anyways, so yeah, I mean, I had a white lion right outside my window, so that was cool. I mean, that the coolness of it never went away for me. But what did go away was the fun due to like animal activists and fighting with them constantly. There was a lot of ignorance and misinformation within the activist community, and they would constantly attack us on social media. They would constantly just call the office and just start screaming and yelling at you. And after a 2 to 3 hour conversation of correcting all the things they thought they knew and inviting them to the park and just kind of educating them, then they would be apologizing by the end. But it's exhausting to have to do that day after day, and to know you're taking care of these animals to the best of your ability, actually in trouble for overfeeding them. We pet them, we raise them and then to be labeled like a animal abuser online and stuff, that was what really wore me out, honestly. And that did take away a lot of the fun. And for me, I marketed the traveling show. The main thing that Carol Baskin was trying to shut down was the tiger cub petting and that traveling show that was named Big Cat Rescue Entertainment. Essentially, Joe knew he would get sued and didn't care. He just wanted to troll her. But that was what I was actually in charge of, was the main thing that got him in trouble. And just dealing with the harassment of people protesting at malls and at fairs and stuff. And I had to not only market it, get all the licensing for all the shows. I also had to do the PR for the shows, which meant I had to do like the radio interviews. I had to answer to the news networks and with all of the protests and things like that. So, because my degree was in advertising and public relations, so I had to do the marketing side and I had to do public relations. And as you can imagine, that's a tough job, which I didn't realize when I took the job, that it was going to be such a tough gig coming right out of college with this fresh education on public relations. But it came in handy. I mean, it was a good experience for me, for my professional career. I actually left it off of my last couple of resumes because I didn't want it to be a thing. And my boss currently called me out on that after I finally let the cat out of the bag at work, that I worked there and that was my job. She actually called me out and was like, wait a second, that wasn't on your resume. I would have remembered that. And I was, yeah, I left it off my resume, like purposely left it off my resume because I didn't want people to know.
It's funny.
And that was before the documentary came out, and I still left it off my resume.
It's funny you left it off of there. It still had enough different jobs and jobs activity to fill a resume.
Oh yeah, I've been through a lot of jobs. Honestly, I really have. Yeah, I fill a resume without that one for sure. But I mean, it's always my job hunting hopping is a whole different conversation. Each job switch has furthered my career positively, either by money or by opportunity. So it's not like I just job hop because, I mean, I just don't like my boss or something of that sort. Like, it's just a good opportunity from here to there, or some entrepreneurship opportunities, things of that sort. So, but now I work for the state, so I've got a good gig going, right? I mean, working for the government, getting some of my tax money back. So, but just some of it.
Just some of it, yeah.
They don't pay good enough to give us all our tax money back, you know.
Of course not. You never have that. But that's also a whole other conversation.
Yeah.
For another channel.
Yeah. But like I said, my experience there was pre-Desperate Joe. Now, we never made money, okay? Like, we were always in the red, which was stressful. But Joe knew we would figure it out. And we were working our way there. And actually, when I left, we had just started to make a little bit of money. But it was too little, too late kind of thing. But Joe was not... Joe spiraled really fast when he lost that $1 million lawsuit, right? So what Carol was supposedly trying to accomplish by putting him out of business was what she wanted to accomplish, or whatever, right? To protect the cats. No, Carol Baskin wants money, right? She went after money.
Oh, yeah.
And when she went after the money, she put him in desperate mode. So he started selling cubs and selling food to the public with whatever meat or whatever he was using.
Sketchy pizza. Yeah.
So he got really desperate for money because of the lawsuit, and it actually ramped up all the things she was supposedly fighting against, in to protect these cats. She actually made all of those worst nightmares come true. So everything she accused Joe of before ended up actually coming true after. So, yeah, she kind of forced that to actually happen. And if you think she cares about those cats, you're wrong.
Yeah,
she does not care about those cats.
As dead as her first husband wrong.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Her husband is wrong. She's that wrong for sure. She absolutely killed her first husband. Like, there's no other explanation for this. And Joe Exotic had a full website dedicated to it, and investigated it deeply, very deeply. But like I said, she has big connections. She has family on the sheriff's department there, multiple family members on the sheriff's department there, and they just pretty much let her run rampant and do whatever there. So anyways, that's a whole different story. But anywho, yeah, she won that lawsuit, made him desperate. He started doing a lot of things that we had very strict rules against. When I worked there, we didn't sell cubs. We had multiple people contact us to sell cubs while I was there, and Joe refused to do it. And a lot of that reasoning was because people get these tiger cubs because they're so cute and cool, right? You get these tiger cubs when they weigh 15 pounds and they're cute and cuddly. And the next thing you know, they're 300 pounds. And you're like, oh, I can still handle this. This is kind of cool. They lose their baby teeth or whatever, and they're not as dangerous anymore and stuff. Then they start getting their adult teeth in, and then next thing you know, they're 500, 600 pounds, and you just can't deal with it anymore. Like, how do you handle that? No matter how domesticated they are, they're still a live animal. They're still 600 pounds, 600 pounds, and just dangerous even on accident. They're dangerous.
Yeah.
And so, it's hard to afford to feed a cat that size. So next thing you know, they end up in a place like Joe's Zoo, who has to take care of them for the rest of their lives, and because that's just where it ends up. So people do these things that they think are really cool. They get these animals, and then they just can't take care of them. So
yeah, and when they get them from these folks, they're probably like malnutrition, unhealthy, injured, who knows what, because they don't know how to take care of a cat like that. I mean, people do that with puppies. They buy puppies, they get too big, they get rid of them. They're definitely going to do it with big cats.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, because people get puppies and mess that up anytime.
Merry Christmas, here's a puppy. And by the 4th of July, it's too big and they're getting rid of it.
Right. Yeah.
Which is so sad.
I'm going to pin. There you go. I'm going to pin that. Okay. Omaha asks, anything on the show that you thought wasn't portrayed correctly, positive or negative? I'm trying to recall, because I remember before that show came out, there was actually a podcast that came out before the show. And I distinctly remember listening to that podcast and just thinking, this is all wrong. Like, they have people on there, they're interviewing, they're making stuff up, like literally making things up. And that actually pissed me off quite a bit, because I was like, no.
It's easier when you're telling a verbal story to make stuff up versus you got cameras everywhere.
Well, I mean, they identified, the people and stuff like that. And apparently things were on camera, but the guy was just making stuff up. Like, it wasn't true at all. As for the show, on Netflix, no, I feel like it was actually pretty fair. I think it was actually really fair to Joe. Again, it was a it was a side of Joe that I didn't know, but like I didn't know him coming out and like yelling at people in the mornings, threatening to fire them, blah blah blah. He was putting on a show for the cameras, and those cameras weren't there when I was there. Anything we were doing while I was there, I was either shooting the video or we had another person there that would shoot video. It wasn't like outside documentary type people shooting the video. And it was all very authentic and about the animals, things of that sort. I mean, don't get me wrong, we did hate Carol videos too. We did those actually quite often around the park and stuff, but they weren't like threatening. They were more just mocking type stuff. And all of that changed after the lawsuit actually came through. So I was a little surprised to hear like he had killed like these cats and stuff, and my immediate thought was no way, like he would not have killed these tigers or anything like that. He would never harm his tigers. He loved those animals. Most of them he raised from birth in his house until they outgrew his house, and then he'd cage stuff. Like he loved these animals. He hated humans, but he was still nice to us. Like he was so nice to us. Like he would buy us lunch. He would get us drinks. No drugs, Kyle. But I mean, he took care of us the best he absolutely could. He wasn't making money, but he tried to make us family, which is a weird thing to say. But then by the time the show was going, what you see on the Netflix documentary wasn't the same Joe that I knew at all. And I actually had a hard time believing it. And then when I kind of got to thinking about, okay, he lost the lawsuit, there's this, like all these circumstances, and he seemed to go a little insane. And I've actually talked to some people that know him. I actually have a coworker at work right now that knows him and has known him for quite some time. And she was talking about the same thing, how he changed and then I was like, well, I don't really believe that this happened. She went, yeah, it actually happened. He went that crazy that the tide turned that much to where he did kill these tigers and stuff. And that to me was just weird. I don't know. It was weird because that wasn't the Joe I knew. So while I was watching the show, some of it I kind of questioned, but now asking around and figuring out, because I've got my sources, that apparently a lot of it was true. So I think everything was actually pretty accurately portrayed, and same with stuff on Carol's end. I mean, they kind of showed her being a horrible person, and I appreciate that because she fools so many people with this hippy dippy BS. It's all BS. She is a cutthroat, just jerk. She doesn't care about these tigers. She may care about the tigers a little bit, but she cares more about money. She is a money hungry person. And that's kind of all that matters. She gets way too much money from her donors, and she plays them like a fiddle, lies to them. All that. I mean, she plays the same game our mainstream media does, right? Like it's the same thing. She can control the narrative because she has so many people following her. And then when you have these couple of people coming out and going, no, like that's not true, then they seem like the crazy ones. She just sicks her people on you, and it's just bad, man. It's a bad situation.
I mean, you thought the employees at GW got paid like crap. Like all of her people are volunteers.
Yeah, all of her people are volunteers.
They had all the colored T-shirts for the tiers or whatever, but everybody worked for her for free.
Yeah. She had people working for her for free. She saved that money.
Saving money. But what I like,
cages were BS. Her cats were underfed. Like it was, she was just in it for the money, man.
What I like best about the way the documentary was put together, though, was it didn't attack Carol or it didn't attack Joe. It just said, here's the facts. Everybody make your decisions. And basically everybody was coming out going, Carol's terrible. Carol murdered her husband. Joe's crazy. Like everybody kind of came to the correct conclusions with just facts.
Well, here, so I will say this, though. I agree that they did a good job of not seeming to take sides. Mm-hmm. And portraying each side as they are and letting you kind of decide what you thought. Except for, I was a pretty firm believer that I was like, I think Joe got set up here. I don't think he was actually trying to kill it. He literally joked about killing Carol Baskin on an hourly basis. Like, he hated her. And so he didn't even really call her by name. He called her that B, I mean,
yeah,
of course. Like, and we all knew who he was talking about. And we pretty much kind of chimed in with that too. Like, we hated this woman.
Oh, yeah.
But
I mean, it's your COD screen name, for God's sake.
Oh, it is my COD screen name. Yes, that be Carol Baskin.
That B. Carol Baskin is his
Call of Duty up on PlayStation. Dat B. Carol Baskin is my Call of Duty username. Anyways, so what was I even talking about?
Talking about how they were fair to both sides, presenting.
Oh, yeah. So they were pretty fair to both sides, except for it looked like he had been set up in there, but I've seen multiple interviews and talks with jurors, and they said that the show did not accurately portray the evidence that was presented in court. As in, they said there was so much more evidence against Joe that wasn't shown on the show, and that it made it obviously guilty. They said it was just so obvious with this extra stuff that wasn't shown on the show. The show, I think they kind of made it, like we mentioned, the making a murder or whatever like that.
Yeah.
Kind of the same thing. It's hard to know if you're getting both sides.
Yeah, they did the same thing. They kind of left out a bunch of stuff that made him look innocent. And, it changes things, because I was the same way. I thought at the end of the documentary, I was like, oh, he was for sure set up. This is a sham, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And then after talking to you about the interviews you'd seen and then talking to your friend, I'm like, okay, so he actually lost his mind, and he probably could have done that, or probably did do that. So it's
yeah, I'm sure.
Not so far-fetched.
I'm sure that he knew, like, at this point, I have nothing to lose. I've lost everything to her.
Mm-hmm.
If I can take her out for what was like $300 or something stupid. I mean, but he's not the brightest crayon either, so he probably really thought he was going to get it for that low of a price to this guy who needed money. But
it's like Omaha had another question
there. Yeah. I was just going to get to that real quick. Omaha said, "Are you still in contact with any coworkers after Jeff Lowe took over? What do they think of him?" So, no, I am in touch with one coworker that I had when I was there. He left a little bit after me. I think he went back to like Michigan or something like that. So no one stuck around that long, but they had a lot of turnover there. My position had a lot of turnover, and pretty much every position did. I mean, people that worked throughout the park, cleaning cages, things of that sort, like, it was an exhausting job. I mean, they were working 12 to 14-hour days out there shoveling poop and cleaning out these cages. And it was a hard job out in the heat. Like, I was there during the summer. It was so hot, things of that sort. So I don't know anyone that actually knew or knows Jeff Lowe, or really anything about him. I'm sure my coworker might know something. Maybe. I don't know how close she was with everyone, but yeah, I don't have a connection with Jeff Lowe or any inside information with him. Oh, that's right. My coworker did said that he's a fraud. So,
well, you can tell.
She said he just
he's a
fakes
bit of a swindler. You can tell.
Yeah. It's like a fake it till you make it thing, and he pretty much just makes stuff up, sells himself as something that he's not, essentially. But that's all I really know about him. And the show does kind of, to me, it portrays him as that.
It totally does.
Yeah. And I mean, same thing, like they were supposed to move that park down by the WinStar down in Thackerville and have this big new park and everything. And that's not happening, apparently. Yeah. Like, so he seems just kind of be, kind of a swindler. He's just trying to
even partnered with that other guy to help build that one down by Thackerville. And
yeah, he's just trying to use these tigers to get laid. That's all he's doing.
His wife is hot. I'll give him that.
Yeah, he outkicked his coverage for his wife for sure. Oh, this is the right audience to say that to. I say that so often, like, oh, you really outkicked your coverage on that one. And I swear people don't know what I'm talking about.
Nobody knows what that means.
This is the right crowd to. It is for that saying for sure.
Dude, we need to see if Omaha wants to be in another dynasty league.
Yeah, I'd be cool with that.
We should. I guess he can't hear me over here on this one, but
we'll figure that out another time.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know. But
I'd be keen. I guess is he watching over here on YouTube now?
Oh, he must be.
He might be watching over on YouTube now.
I'm down for that.
He's just commenting on there. All right, you sneaky sir.
I love it. I appreciate it, Omaha. Love you joining in on us here.
Yeah,
joining on with us. He wanted to be able to hear you, or he definitely didn't want to see you. I
guess it just, it would be a little weird seeing one side of a conversation on Insta, but
yeah. The Instagram's fun. It's an easy way for people to hop on and see and stuff, and maybe push people over to YouTube if they want. A lot of people just kind of pass through the Instagram, stay for a couple minutes, and then move on. And if that's their flavor, if that's what they want, then they can do that. Just want to give people the option, but
right.
Well, it's just another place for people to ask questions.
For Omaha, if he's over here, if he ever sees one of us talking on the chat in Dynasty, oh, wrong way. That one's Corey and I'm Kyle. So that's
yeah. I'm Corey. He is Kyle. We are brothers, even though we don't look like it.
Tell the fat joke that you always tell with that.
I always tell people that we're actually twins. Not identical twins, but Kyle came first and then I walked out after. So that's my fat joke on Kyle there. So yeah, we look quite a bit different. I've always heard that. But brilliant. I agree. Thank you.
It's his favorite joke to tell. I swear to God, it is.
It's not, but it's not appropriate. I got to find
the one I've heard you say the most.
This was supposed to be a family-friendly channel, and I think we just crossed a line.
I didn't hear any dirty words.
It's the insinuation, but yeah, man. Yeah, it's still weird to know that I worked for the Tiger King. I mean, people still talk about it. It got a lot of people through the pandemic, the lockdown times. I mean, it was the one uniting thing in 2020 that everyone can kind of talk about. Didn't matter your political party, anything, like everyone was interested in it. And so it's weird to be associated with that in some way. Like, and watching that, I mean, I wasn't there during the time of that, but some of those things I was involved in, the TV studio, helping set that up and doing shows there and whatnot. Or even, I mean, some of the videos he shot talking crap on Carol Baskin through the park, like I was there for those. I may not have shot him, but I was there for him, helping set up just different stuff and or like I said, the picture of Carol Baskin's workers and stuff holding those dead rabbits on the back of that golf cart. Pretty popular photo. And I was there to help push that. I mean, we pushed that everywhere. So, hey, what's up, Fantasy Football Hub? Thanks for joining us. Does anyone have questions? What's up? You have a question, Kyle?
I do have a question, yeah, but on the rabbit thing, because they were making such a big deal out of, get these rabbits for the Tigers, get Carol and them. But it's like a rabbit for a tiger that size is like a snack, right? Like it's not that big of a deal.
No, I mean the rabbit's it's a decent meal for the tiger. The thing that was a big deal about it is that the animal activists, right? They cared about these rabbits. There was a whole rabbit activist group and everything, and essentially Carol had convinced everyone that she didn't do any of that sort of thing, and actually lied about she didn't feed animals to her tigers and stuff. And then that picture came out, it was like, you're a liar and a hypocrite. Yeah. And so we pushed that to just say, like, look, she's a liar. Like, this is everything she does. She just lies all the time. So, yeah. So, I live at my family farm, so I understand the animal nonsense. Yeah. Yeah, the animal activist thing was the hardest part. Absolutely.
The rabbit to the tiger is like those personal chickens you get hot and ready at the grocery store. To us, yeah. I mean, I don't eat like a tiger. I'm a bad example. Corey doesn't eat like a tiger.
That's funny.
So
Love it. Oh, here's a question. Okay.
Oh, we got a football
This
question.
Fantasy football question, which I also really appreciate. So Eckler or Chubb, who you drafting first next season? So for me, well,
PPR
hold on. Is it PPR or non-PPR? That's my first question.
That was my question too.
Oh, okay, cool.
But he can't hear me on Insta, so.
Right. So Kyle also had that question for you, but I think I need clarification because that does change things. So Eckler for me, I would go Eckler in a PPR league or even half PPR. I would go Chubb in standard. And Kyle, how do you feel? Kind of same thing?
Same way, yeah.
Yeah. So Kyle feels the same way. I'm actually really high on Eckler. I love him. Chubb, he splits with Kareem Hunt, but he actually does better in the games that Hunt gets more playing time because it just opens him up. But Hunt takes all those catches. Let's see. He said PPR most definitely. He only plays PPR. Okay. I've got standard, half PPR, now tiered PPR. So got a little bit of everything. So I would say Eckler in any sort of PPR, Chubb in a standard scoring. So it looks like you need to go after Eckler, my man.
But close. There's not
close. Yeah, you can't go wrong. Yeah, I agree. Kyle says close. I totally agree with that. But Eckler in a PPR, especially a full point PPR, sign me up for that. Dude's a stud. I've seen some rankings with him really high, and I really agree with those. Let's see. Omaha says that league we're in is my first tiered PPR. Excited about it. Same. That's our first tiered PPR. We didn't exactly know what that meant. So then we got in and looking at scoring. We're like, oh, that's what that means. And that looks really cool to me.
Yeah. It's going to be good. It's going to be fun.
Yep.
Man.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yep. I think we're looking forward to that quite a bit. And if guys like you are in that league, I mean, we were talking to some other guys in the league. Everyone seems really cool. And I think it's going to be active, which I really like. Some of our other leagues, the other people aren't as active in. They don't like to trade that much or chat that much. So Fantasy Football Hub says Eckler should feast with Herbert this season and benefit the offense line additions. Absolutely. I mean, Herbert, man, he's really good.
That coming from him. I honestly didn't. I didn't think he'd be that good.
I didn't either, but the opportunity that opens up for Eckler is huge. He says, plus Ballage is gone. They don't got to worry about him anymore. I mean, I wasn't super worried about him before, but
yeah, he only played when Eckler was hurt. I mean,
yeah. Then Omaha says, who's the handcuff to Eckler? And that's Jackson, right, Kyle?
Yeah, Justin Jackson.
What's his first name?
Justin.
Justin Jackson? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's Jackson. He said Kelly or Jackson. I think it's Jackson.
I think it's Jackson. We saw kind of last year before they had Ballage, like they preferred Jackson to Kelly. They don't trust Kelly really. He had that one big game where it was kind of fluky because he was on a roll, but the rest of the year you could totally tell like they preferred they trusted Jackson more.
I agree. I think there's a lot more. Fantasy Football Hub, man, thanks for joining us. That was fun. Thanks for the questions. Have a good night. That's awesome. Let people come in here. I don't care if it's about Tiger King or fantasy football, man. I'm so pumped for fantasy football right now.
Me too.
This being able to join this dynasty league that's starting up. I mean, here I was thinking, oh my gosh, it's never going to start. Like we'll get the NFL draft and that'll be fine and dandy. It'll kick some stuff off. And then yesterday, that opportunity to join this dynasty league. And I mean, to say I slept good last night would be a lie because I can't stop thinking about fantasy football now. And
won't stop.
Now I can't wait for the draft and I can't wait to start trades and I can't wait to do all of it. So I'm super pumped for it.
All boom, no bust. Super exciting.
hopefully. Hopefully all boom, no
No,
bust.
getting started, I mean, is all boom, no bust.
Oh, absolutely. Gosh, I can't wait to get it started. That's a huge boom for us. Whew, I can't stand up right now. That's how big of a boom this is.
Yeah, I'm wearing athletic shorts here. I gotta be careful.
That's a scary thought. Anyways,
yeah, because I'm not athletic.
yeah, I'm super jazzed for it. There's kind of a fun story
Like
here.
jazz
So,
hands, jazz.
so Omaha says probably the earliest draft I've done too. Yeah, I mean it's yeah, it definitely is. Our other dynasties that we've been in, we've done it starting right after the draft was complete. So not that much later. I'd say maybe a week after the draft.
Most
So
of the
this one
ones
beats
that
it by
I had ran in the past were like into May. Usually gave like a month after
into
the
May.
draft.
Yeah, you might be right. Maybe a month after the draft to give some research in there. Let them
Because
kind of
I
go in
slowed
there. But
down. My work schedule slowed down, uh, like into May. So that was always the best time for me to run it. Was like June, July. So that was pretty much when we did it.
yeah.
Some of them
So
ran 4 or 5
May,
weeks too. Some of
June.
them early ones.
Yeah.
It
So
got
I'm
more
pumped for
efficient,
this
but yeah.
because it's also guys like Fantasy Football State of Mind, Omaha, these guys who know this football, they follow it year round, and it's going to be so good.
He's
Um,
ultra competitive.
yeah, it's going to be really competitive. It's going to be smart. It's going to be smart fantasy football, and it's going to be good. So fun story, really quick. When I was working at the zoo there with Joe Exotic was my first time to play fantasy football. That's when I actually started playing fantasy football was during that time. So my friends and I all graduated college, and we decided or one of our friends decided, hey, let's all play fantasy football in a league together, and that will keep us in contact with each other because we all kind of went our separate ways doing different stuff. I mean, I went down to this animal park out in the middle of nowhere where it was easy to get isolated and just kind of disconnect from my friends. And so they decided, let's start a fantasy football league. And Kyle had already been playing for years, and I had never played. In fact, I just made fun of Kyle because he was so addicted to fantasy football. And I thought, this is silly. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, you just invest so much time and energy and you talk about this crap and I don't know what you're talking about, whatever. So we would actually make fun of him. And then we started it, and I didn't even get to draft my own team. All I remember, the only player I remember, I had Vincent Jackson. He was my big time wide receiver. And that's all I remember from that year, really, at all. I don't even know who my number one overall draft pick was. Kyle, I think you drafted for me, maybe.
I don't remember.
And it's the only year I didn't make the playoffs. We've been going for 10 years in that league now. And
I can find out.
Oh, Kyle's going to find out really quick. But they drafted, I had to work because I had to work every dang day there. I mean, I lived there. I worked 12 to 14-hour days every day of the week. So 80 plus hours a week. And yeah, so I didn't get to make the draft. I was supposed to have one day off a week. That rarely happened because you lived there. They got busy with tours and guests and stuff. They would just come knock on your door and say, hey, we need you. Fine, whatever. And you were on salary, so they didn't mind doing that. So anyways, Kyle's going to look up and see the team that they drafted me. Kyle, do you remember how y'all drafted my team? Was it like consensus, or did you kind of just do it for me?
I think I pretty much just drafted for you.
Okay, you drafted for me, and you promised me you did the best you could, but also I didn't know. I didn't know what I was doing with trading or anything of that sort. Free agency. I mean, I didn't have time to keep up with it, so I just didn't know that much. But it did force me to keep in touch with everyone, kind of being away. And then I actually left in September, so I was able to kind of pick it up a little bit after that. I had more time I had time to actually watch the games, and I had time to keep up with stuff. All I could do is I need to set my lineup. That's essentially all I did. And so, looking back on that of how I started, just kind of in it, but not really in it. And now I'm obsessed with it. It's kind of funny to see that play out over time. It didn't take me long to become obsessed with it. Probably after that season, I was already hooked. And the most I've ever done, though, is I think 5 years or five leagues in a year. And I think this year I'm definitely going to outpace that. I had kind of cut back some leagues, and now I'm starting to gain them back again. And having this channel is kind of making me want to get more so that we have more content and can show people more strategies and things of that sort. Because the different strategies, the strategies are so different. I had 4 leagues this year, and I won 4 championships. That seems impossible, but each league was so different, scoring wise, lineup wise, things of that sort, to where I could play against Eckler, Aaron Jones, and Devontae Adams and win with that lineup in one league and lose, and then the team I'm playing against another league, I actually still beat that lineup. Like, it was interesting. So all my leagues have such different scoring and things of that sort that it makes it possible to do that sort of thing. Kyle, I see you smiling. You must have found it. Did you find it? Okay.
I did.
Yeah. I'm gonna go to Omaha. Hold on. Let's do Omaha real quick,
Okay.
and then let's go to that lineup for my first year. So would you rather have a Tampa Bay running back as your RB1 or work for Joe again? Oh gosh, why would you give me such a hard question? God, that's the toughest question I've had to that I've had to answer. Holy cow!
Oh, that's dirty.
That is a dirty question. At this point,
Akbar trap right there. Maybe that's
at this point, I will take a Tampa Bay running back in my family league. That's my least important league. It's an 8-team league. They can sit my bench because it's so deep on players. So I'm going to cheat this one and say I'll take a Tampa Bay running back to sit on my bench in my 8-team family league over working for Joe again. Plus, working for Joe again right now would suck because that means I'd have to be in like an orange jumpsuit or something to be his little bitch in jail. I don't know what that means, but that's a great question.
You'd have to hold his pocket
Omaha,
all around.
Dude, you're amazing.
Going all the way around the prison.
That's funny.
All right.
Also, so no. Hold on. I cheated. That can't be my answer. Hold on. I just reread his question. It has to be my RB1. So the Tampa Bay running back would have to be my RB1.
Yeah.
I would still take that in my family league because that's my least competitive league, and if I lose it, I lose it. Whatever. It's a non-money league. Gosh, I'm still going with that over working for Joe again.
I think that's a wise
just because
choice.
It was so wild. Like, now, when I was fresh out of college, like, what an adventure. You know, like, this guy's crazy. No one's going to believe this. I didn't know that things would escalate to the point they did. So I was naive to it and everything. So it was exciting. But knowing what I know now and being where my life is right now, first of all, I couldn't afford to work for Joe again because it didn't pay anything. And then, I just couldn't be associated with that. So I'm still going RB1, Tampa Bay running back. And that's just, I don't even want to have to choose my Tampa Bay running back. I want to just like throw a dart at a wall that has their pictures on it because essentially that'll be just as good a pick as whoever I would pick if I did. So anyways, just random.
That also goes for New England running backs.
Yes, New England running backs and maybe Washington running backs, all the same. Like, just throw darts at a wall with all their pictures on it and just hope for the best. Okay, Kyle, you found that lineup?
I did. Okay, so your inaugural draft pick, first round pick for this league was Chris Johnson.
Interesting. Chris Johnson was my first. I remember that now. I did have him. Yeah, that was a good running back for me.
I'm just going to run through your picks real quick, round by round.
Now that you mention that, okay, let's see. Who did you?
So Chris Johnson. Your second rounder was Frank Gore.
Frank Gore. Oh, that's when Frank Gore was actually killing. I had a pretty good team. I just didn't know what I was doing. That sucks. Okay.
Hakeem Nicks. That's how long ago this was.
Oh my gosh, Hakeem Nicks. Yeah, he was good then too.
Round 4 was Vincent Jackson.
Man, boomer bust right there though. Dang.
Round 5 was Matt Schaub. That was when back when he played for the Texans.
Wait, who was after?
Yeah, that was back when he played for the Texans.
Yeah, yeah.
Round 6, Mike Williams, the Tampa Bay receiver. Oh wait, that's mine. That was my round 6. Hold on. Dallas Clark, the Indy tight end, was
Dallas
your 6th rounder.
Clark.
That dude was a beast. Gosh. Him and Peyton. Oh my god, dude. Yeah,
man,
CJ2K, baby. That's right. Let's see. Cedric Benson was your 7th rounder.
Okay, you got me a Texas player. Oh my gosh, I shall never forgive you.
You already forgot.
I know, but you reminded me, and now I'm mad again.
Kenny Britt, Pierre Thomas, Jay Cutler, Mike Tolbert, Lance Moore. God, some of these guys were never anything. Like Patriots B, Mason Crosby. That dude's been
Crosby. Crosby was good then, though. Like that was solid kicker.
Roy Williams with Chicago before he even went to Dallas.
What?
Oh no, wait, that was after he went to Chicago after Dallas, didn't he? He came from Detroit to us, then to Chicago.
Yeah.
Okay, and then
oh my gosh,
Tony Gonzalez was your last round pick. So,
dude, that's vintage. That's great.
So now I'm going to run through mine.
Mason Crosby has been good the last 5 decades.
Yeah, for real, dude.
It seems like that, man. He had like one down season. Everyone's like, "Oh, it's the end of his career," and then he's just fine. Like whatever.
So mine was Ray Rice. I had back to back. I had the number 10 pick, so I had I had back to back Ray Rice for Rashard Mendenhall, which was amazing that year.
Mendenhall, what?
That year it was amazing. Then I went Mike Wallace, Darren McFadden.
Mike Wallace. Now that was back in the day, that was legit. And McFadden, probably for the Raiders at that point. So
yeah, that was when he was actually doing all right.
Yeah.
Matt Ryan, and then the Mike Williams pick that I accidentally read earlier.
Dang.
Brandon Marshall when he was with Miami, and Tim Hightower when he was with Washington.
Gosh, this is nutty.
Eli Manning, Kellen Winslow, the Tampa Bay tight end. Brandon Jacobs, CJ Spiller.
Hey, Spiller, I remember when I had him down the line there a couple seasons later, and he was killing it for me. I loved CJ Spiller, and it took me way too long to get over CJ Spiller. I was on some CJ Spiller because he did me so good for like 2 seasons, and then when he just stopped producing,
seasons he ever did anything.
Well, yeah, because then he kind of got faded by his coaching staff, and they stopped throwing him the ball and stuff. And it's like, what is happening? It took me forever. Yeah. I had the same issue with Percy Harvin, dude. I had him and Spiller in the same seasons, and it was just those were some of the most exciting seasons for me because those guys were just playmaking machines, and that was really fun. And then they just like went away, and it was just heartbreaking for me.
Those two were a couple of the most wasted talents probably in NFL history because they weren't with the right coaching staff and in the right schemes to actually get the ball as much as they should.
No, I think Percy was used well. I think his headaches just gave him a problem. I mean, he just couldn't stay healthy and stay in the games. But
yeah, he was better off than Spiller.
Spiller just had a bad. Yeah, he was just wasted. So that was wasted talent for sure.
My last 4 rounds were Jacoby Ford, Jared Cook when he was with Tennessee. I didn't realize that guy had been around that long. Lions defense, and Matt Bryant, the Atlanta kicker, who's also been around forever. Apparently.
Dude, he's been around for 6 decades maybe.
Yeah.
Dude, that's so crazy to read back there those drafts. I wasn't even at that draft because I was working at the animal park. So that's so weird. Very weird.
Yeah, some of these names though just
nostalgia, man.
Bring back some memories, man.
I love that. That was fun. I'm glad you were able to find that.
I had to reactivate the ESPN Roll Tide League, which everybody's gonna get that email and go, "Hell is this?" Like,
no doubt.
They're on Sleeper now. They're gonna be confused.
Oh, they saw us. Yeah, you're right.
It's like go watch our videos, friends, and you'll see exactly why we did that.
Yeah. I don't blame them for not wanting to put up with us more than they already do.
I know, right?
You know they're going to start watching us during the season, though, because we're going to be talking about all our strategies and whatnot, and they're going to be on here just trying to, like,
What are
listen to
these
see what we're
suckers up
looking
to
at and what
over
we're
here?
doing.
Yeah. What
Because
are
a lot
these
of them
idiots doing?
a lot of them haven't won the championship in there, so now they're going to try to be like, oh, what does it take to win the championship?
Zing.
Bazinga!
I'll email everybody out a list of burn sitters in the OKC metro area for your use.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right, man. We're over an hour now, so I think we'll cut this short, or cut this off. It's not short.
It's not short anymore.
No, it's not short anymore. We actually went longer than expected, but it's because we had some good questions coming in, some good conversations. So, Omaha, thanks so much for popping in. I'm excited for this this league and this season, playing with you, and you seem so cool. And
Totally.
I think
I'll
most
probably
of the guys in there seem cool.
probably
So
DM you about our getting in our dynasty league.
yeah, totally. Yep, those are the kind of people we are looking to play fantasy football with for sure. Build those relationships and just play for a long, long time. We have people that. Kyle, how long have you been playing with some of these guys you've been playing in these leagues for? I mean, over 10 years. How long have you known some of these guys?
Oh shoot. Just in our dynasty league that we're
I mean the
general,
longest.
Because I mean we've got like my work league I've been in for 11 years, 12 years.
Yeah, go back further than that. Some of these guys like Tony and whatnot, like
yeah, Tony was in the first dynasty league I joined. He so the first dynasty I was in, I think it was the second year I played. So it was like 09. So I've known him for like 10, 11 years, something like that.
Yeah, that's cool.
I have to go back to find the exact year I started. Well, I don't think I could because I've left those leagues have been
probably
deleted
not. But either way, it's like these are long time relationships, and that's cool. I love that with people we've never met in person. It's just you don't know them other than making trades and texting with them or something like that. So it's fun. Love that.
I've had many a 2 a.m. general football or trade chat with Tony over the years, over the last decade. So,
well, you never know what time these conversations are going to happen because people are all in different time zones and whatnot. So that makes it fun. I love that because you're texting somebody about trade. And it's like, oh, they're probably not even awake yet. I'm at work.
Yeah.
Not that I do that at work. Sorry, boss. But and they're not even awake.
My boss knows.
Oh, the time zone is interesting. So, my boss totally understands.
Yeah.
So anyways, thanks for joining us, guys, and we'll talk to you later.
Yep. See you guys.